Unidentified hacker gained access to a file shared in a secure link among lawyers with clients who have given damaging testimony. The file is said to include sworn testimony by a woman who said that she had sex with Mr. Gaetz back in 2017 when she was 17 years old.
Despite everything you hear, the Republican Party is all about family values.
I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it!
You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
I could keep a secret, bro. My lips stay shut.
Sex charges against me.
And I don't think it. Look, these young women deserve justice. Can you imagine you're a member of Congress? You pay by Venmo to have sex with women. This woman is a junior in high school. You supply them with drugs. There's all these other reportings where he leaves a Trump event, uses his campaign money to rent a hotel, and lines out the cocaine for the other women that he paid inside the hotel room.
He knew that he's having sex with a high school girl, whatever her age might be, whether she was technically 18 or 17. He could have known she was in high school. And there were a lot of girls, it sounds like, at this party who were in that age range, your clients among them.
Right, but the testimony that my client gave was that she believed Representative Gaetz did not know her age at the time, that the minor was 17.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, but it's a party where this sort of thing is happening. And just to be clear, your clients knew he had paid also your clients for sex? He was paying for sex?
The testimony before the House was yes, that Representative Gaetz paid my client, both of my clients, for sexual favors throughout the summer of 2017 all the way to the beginning of 2019.
And how did he pay them?
Those were primarily through Venmo and PayPal payments. There was one payment through Representative Gaetz' adopted son through his PayPal.
Nestor,
That's
the
right.
adopted son.
Did you hear that? Matt Gaetz paid teenage girls to have sex, and he paid them with his son's PayPal account? That alone should be enough to bury this creep. That is unconscionably obscene, sick, and stupid. You couldn't pay him in cash? How does that show up on your PayPal and Venmo? That's statutory rape, regardless of what age he thinks they are, and even if they want to have sex. That's why we're called adults, and they're called minors.
This morning, new scrutiny for Matt Gaetz, President-elect Trump's embattled pick for Attorney General. Mr. Trump has been reportedly reaching out personally to senators to ask them to back Gaetz' nomination.
But the question is, why is Trump pushing so hard for Rapey McForehead?
We don't know why the president chose him. We know why Gaetz wanted to be chosen, and that was he wanted to avoid having this report issued. On Wednesday, he talks the president into naming him as Attorney General. That allows him to immediately resign and stop the publication of the Ethics Committee report on Friday because no longer being a member of the House Ethics Committee has no authority over him. So think about it. I think this is really sort of cynical. He's nominated by 47. He immediately resigns to stop the report. What's going to happen from there? One is he could get confirmed. I think that's highly unlikely. Talk about an unpopular member of the Republican Party and the Congress of the United States. It's him, and it's not because he's disliked so much by Democrats. It's that he's disliked by Republicans. So he's unlikely to get confirmed. All it takes is 4 members of the Republican membership of the Senate to say no to him. And I could count like 10 or 12 already that are expressing doubts or saying they're opposed. So maybe then the president makes a recess appointment in which he gets to serve in the job for 2 years. But again, you're right. The guy has never been a practicing attorney with a steady practice. He's never prosecuted. He's never managed or run a law firm. And he's going to run the largest law firm in the world? I don't think so. So I think what this ultimately is, he's counting on being turned down with the idea that he then runs for governor or senator in 2026, saying, I was a victim of the deep state, and rallies the MAGA base in order to try and get there.
Now, a recess appointment will be hard for 2 reasons. The Supreme Court in 2014 and the Senate have pushed back on a president trying to circumvent the advise and consent powers the Constitution gives the Senate.
I want to be a dictator.
But Trump really thinks he can say, he's my attorney general, and who's going to stop him? And he has a point. But then again, why fight so hard for Gaetz?
Because the longer it goes on, the more it diverts attention from what President Trump is attempting to get done in his early days, the more it saps the energy and attention of the White House and the more damage it does to the president. I understand Representative Gaetz is telling people whom he's talking to about the confirmation fight that he expects the report to come out and is not worried about it. Well, if that's true, then why doesn't he step forward and say, I hope the House Ethics Commission releases the report, and if it doesn't, I hope it releases all the underlying evidence and all the underlying depositions and other materials that they used in order to arrive at their potential conclusion. If it really is not harmful, if he thinks it's going to help him, then let's have it all put out there, because it will come out. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The attorneys representing some of the women involved have already said that they supplied the underlying evidence and their clients are willing to step forward. This could be very harmful. There'd be one thing if this guy had a reputation as, one, an extraordinarily gifted legislator, two, a tremendously gifted trial attorney, a proven prosecutor, somebody who had managed a big law firm and had demonstrated legal ability. But no, he has none of those attributes. In fact, he has a reputation on the floor of the House for having shown pictures of his conquest to his fellow members. So if that's the best you can do, you're not going to get confirmed.
Trump needs someone who will not blink when it comes time for him to drop the charges he's facing. And no small charges they are. Insurrection and theft of top secret government documents. Trump needs someone who will eat shit for him, and as Trump's agenda unfolds, he'll need lackeys by the score, because even though Trump has the numbers, the House and Senate have elections in 2 years, and it will get dirty. The only upside for anyone here is Crazy Jr. and this creep, who's also dealing with sexual assault charges.
The former Fox News host, nominated as Secretary of Defense, settled a threatened lawsuit brought by a woman who accused him of sexually assaulting her in his hotel room 7 years ago. His attorney said Pete Hegseth strongly felt that he was the victim of blackmail and the woman was the aggressor in initiating sexual activity. He says Hegseth was afraid of being fired from Fox over the allegation and paid the woman an undisclosed sum. In return, she signed a non-disclosure agreement. We're learning new details of what is said to have happened.
Come on in.
Come on into our living room. Hegseth started the day Saturday, October 7th, 2017, in New York, co-hosting Fox and Friends Weekend with special guest co-host actor Dean Cain. But he left the set 30 minutes early, apparently to catch a flight to Monterey to speak at the California Federation of Republican Women's banquet. After Hegseth spoke at the banquet, a 30-year-old staff member met him in a bar at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. She was staying at the hotel with her husband and children. She was assigned to look after Hegseth and was allegedly summoned to the bar where the Fox host was getting pushy with two other women. Surveillance video shows her helping him out of the bar.
The last 4 years have been easy for Trump, mostly because he wasn't in office. I mean, he could sound crazy, but what can anyone do? But setting up prison camps for people of color and attacking them with the military, violating the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments, that's going to be a long day for Tiny Fingers, and Republicans, Democrats, and courts will have to answer to millions of Americans whose opinions will cross party lines. And Trump needs a buffer, and Gaetz is a perfect choice. Tick-tock, mother... Anyone who crosses state lines to have sex with minors, and as you heard, all the details will come out, well, that person crossed both a metaphorical and literal line. And while MAGA seems willing to grant all sorts of perversions for the fat orange one...
I took her for I moved on her like a bitch.
I'm not sure it extends to idiots like Gaetz and Johnny Donuts. And every minute, it gets harder for Matt. If you think about it, Trump has had some interesting allies. McConnell, McCarthy, Mike Johnson, Dairy Queen, Boebert, Miss Lindsay, and Gaetz. And they fight like a family.
A member of Congress wanted me to stop an ethics complaint because he slept with a 17-year-old. An ethics complaint that started before I ever became Speaker, and that's illegal, and I'm not going to get in the middle.
I mean, Kevin hates Matt, Matt hates Kevin, Dairy Queen hates Kevin, Matt hates Kevin, and Miss Lindsay hates McConnell, and they all love Donnie Diapers. I mean, you really couldn't make this up. But the irony, of course, is that every single 1980s Reagan-era Republican value has been flipped upside down. And now instead of family values, Republicans have turned into Trump values. Sex with minors, sexual assault, adultery. So maybe Gaetz is the right guy for Trump.
I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
But hey, I admit it, Republicans, they had a big day. But if this is your family and those are your values, tell me, what did you really win?
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Damn right.
This is not a normal election.
Whether the women like it or not.
Suck my fat one.
Who's with me?
Trust me.
Shut the f*** up, Darren.
Who's with me?
Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am
I wrong?
Yes!
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.